Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Benjamin, and welcome to our weekly updates of the 2020 presidential election model that I've created for my channel. Before I get into it, there's going to be a link down in the description for a friend of mine who's used to do election forecasts way back in 16 along with myself, and we were about the same size back then. He's started a new channel, and I want to give him a shout out because he's very good, and he does what he does very well. And again, he's a friend, so I got to take care of my friends. Okay, that's the right thing to do. Again, that'll be the first link down in the description. That'll be above the normal tag that's in my newer description for those of y'all who've seen it, along with the other links. So check him out, give him a subscription, and comment on his first video. Tell him, welcome back to the election forecasting community, and let's see if we can get him over 100 within a couple of days. I think that'd be a pretty good gift for him. Anyway, so looking at the model, again, I think this is partially because we've only got two polls out, a Rasmussen and a Harris X poll, which I think have been showing Donald Trump a little bit better. But over the weekend, there was also an ABC News Washington Journal poll that put Donald Trump at 57%, which is actually a bit higher than I would have expected from that pollster, but it's also a bit higher than the average. So they're either overrating Trump or they're tapping into something that they're maybe is a bit surprising. So that's up to y'all to figure it out. And remember, I'm using the likely and registered voters unless it's Gallup. I don't trust all polls of all adults when factoring into an average. So that's why my average is probably a bit higher than other people's polling average that they include, okay? And of course, if you want only the polls of each individual state and the nation, you can look at this state and national mean tab on the model. And if you want the whole shebang, here's the model with the forecast, which factors in fundamentals, aka the economy, incumbency, that type of thing. So anyway, hilariously, we're looking at essentially a repeat of 2016 according to my model right now, and almost exact repeat too, which is kind of a little shocking, but there are a few notable differences. Number one, since we don't have a Democratic nominee, I can't assign a home state effect to the Democrats. Just know that if Biden were to be the nominee, which is probably likely, Delaware would not be set at only a lean, and it's actually at about 8%, aka the same margin as Iowa and Ohio, which, sometimes I don't talk about Iowa and Ohio as if they're competitive, but the truth is they are competitive. That's why they're not rated as safe, And of course, New York being this likely color, it's let's wait for a nominee to be chosen, okay? We're seeing some trends, and this kind of reinforces what I think a lot of people are seeing long term with the Sun Belt and some of the Southeast corridor becoming more blue as time goes by, and Alaska being weirdly competitive. That may just be Trump, but that may be something to watch for in coming cycles. Looking at Minnesota and the Rust Belt, again, that's following the trend that I think has existed, and my data, or at least the data I've used, tends to back it up, and I've tried to include as much data as possible. The data that I have used and my methodology seems to indicate it's become more Republican, but I'm certain that if you use different methodology, you'll find data that proves that the entire nation is moving to the Democrats. You could probably also find evidence the entire nation is moving to the Republicans. So it's all what sample you use that will determine what your net result is. I've tried to use as unbiased a sample as possible, but please recognize I'm only a human being, and there is nothing that is going to be 100% unbiased. Okay? It's just the way it is. So I also have a few updates in my personal life. Chances are I'm going to be moving not too long in the future, and it's more than likely going to be, it's not going to be too far removed. It's going to be like 30 minutes to an hour away from where I currently live. That's just because of work. And I'll let you guys know when that happens. I'm also probably going to have to go down to Florida at some point. But again, I'll let y'all know when that happens. And I will try and have everything prepared for that case. That way I don't miss an upload. But if I do, please understand things are going to get hectic for me in a little bit because I need to pay my final bills where I'm currently living. I'm going to need to update my address. I'm going to need to figure out where I need to pay new bills to. I'm going to need to actually move everything in my apartment, you know, my desk, my recording rig, and maybe when I get to my new place, I'll actually do a film of what my recording studio will look like. You know, I've got to make sure furniture gets moved. I got to make sure my guitars are transported safely. My bowling equipment is transported safely. I've got about 4 or 5 chess sets that I need to actually move safely. I've got basically a small library of cookbooks. I think I have 2 Bibles. I have some political theory books, some economic theory books. I have some novels. I have some history books. Yeah, I've got a surprising amount of stuff that I realize I have to move. I've got all my cooking equipment, you know, my knives, my pots, my pans, my silverware. A deep fryer, a pressure cooker, you know. Yeah, there's actually a lot that I need to make sure that I have moved, so that's going to be fun times. By the way, so the job that I've taken in real life, you know, to help pay my bills, basically, it will be primarily based on commission, so I'm going to be a little flustered, I guess, is the best way to describe it, at least at first. So I'm gonna be kind of. I may or may not have time to script every episode, so they may be more stream of consciousness. But I'm always practicing to make sure that I can actually get this done in a proper way. But I'll do my best to make sure that everything is as scripted as possible. That way, there aren't too many filler words like uhs and ahs and mm-hms. So I would greatly appreciate it if, you know, if you really do like the content, just, you know, give a little shout out on Patreon, or, you know, there is a link to that in the description. It would greatly help me out because it would put less pressure on me to be kind of a, you know, slimy salesperson pushing for a commission. I mean, I'm not going to be that type of person anyway, but, you know, please understand that it's going to be a little bit stressful, but that's just the nature of having, you know, a day job. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed. I'll see you all next time, and make sure to go to the channel in the description, Election Central USA. Let me just make sure I have that name right, because I want to do right by Kelvin. Yeah, Election Central USA. Again, the link will be in the description. It'll be the first thing you see in the description. Go ahead and give him a subscription. Again, he's a good person, good friend. Do right by him, okay? Thank y'all. Bye.